Borat subsequent movie film. I want to begin this video by saying I'm not going to spoil any of the gags. You're safe here. Borat has shamed his country. On a very strange quest for redemption, he goes back to America in an attempt to redeem Kazakhstan's reputation. Now, I'm truly surprised that I'm here reviewing this film because up until 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know this existed. I've loved Sacha Baron Cohen ever since I was a boy. I grew up watching Ali G and Borat, and I consider the first Borat to be one of the funniest films I've ever seen. So considering how much of a fan I am, and how much I keep up to date with the movie industry, I'm shocked that somehow this, of all films, slipped my radar. Imagine my excitement when I found out that all of this time later, one of my most favorite comedies is getting a sequel released in just a few days. But with that being said, I didn't get myself too hyped. I knew this wasn't going to be as good as the first, so I kept my expectations in check and hoped to enjoy. As soon as it began, I was grinning ear to ear. This was the first time I had seen the Borat character appear in anything since the first film, and it was a welcome return. The jokes felt right at home. Kazakhstan is still being portrayed as a country full of primitive, incestual mountain dwellers, and unlike Kazakhstan, I found that hilarious. Also, the story was actually better than the first film. Instead of Borat going across the country thirsty for Pamela Anderson, this time there's heart. A story of a father and daughter reconnecting and accepting one another. I also loved how the plot was based on real life. Back in 2006, Kazakhstan took offense to their portrayal in the first film, and Borat became a part of American pop culture. That's exactly the plot of this movie. Kazakhstan hates Borat after the first film, and when Borat goes back to America, he just can't seem to go anywhere without being recognized. And in order to get around this, Borat has to wear various disguises in public so as not to be recognized. This is fantastic. There are clearly some great ideas here, all done with passion, and I was smiling constantly for the first 15 minutes. Here's the problem. Once those 15 minutes ended, I spent most of this film feeling like a grumpy old man who just couldn't get with the times. As I said, I kept my expectations in check, and sadly, that wasn't enough to prevent me from being disappointed in this sequel. Throughout the middle of the film, I barely laughed. I understand Borat is known for gross humor, but some of this would make the Jackass crew blush. It was so overdone, I just found myself cringing instead of laughing. But easily, the worst aspect for me was that the whole charm of anything Borat related is seeing people's natural reactions to the carnage unfolding in front of them. But sadly, in this sequel, I just couldn't shake the feeling that way too much of this was scripted. I could only think of a few scenes that actually felt real. The rest of it felt staged and sucked me out of it. I'm sad to say, I actually spent the vast majority of this film feeling bored, until finally it picked itself back up at the end. This is where I have to talk about Maria Baklava as Borat's daughter. Most of the non-scripted reactions that I so craved actually came from her. At first, I had no idea why everyone was raving about this character, because I just saw some gross girl doing gross things. I didn't think she was funny at all. But towards the end of the film, she took up all of my attention and got the best laughs. I have to say, this girl was easily the best part of the film for me. She was amazing, and actually surpassed Borat himself. That's kind of bittersweet, however. It is a bit of a shame that Borat himself wasn't enough to carry this Borat film. But still, the film did end on a strong note. No spoilers, but the final 10 minutes were absolutely hilarious, and I didn't see that final twist coming. I actually thought that was great. So, as a whole, it's kind of a mixed bag for me, guys. It doesn't tarnish the original, and I wasn't offended by this film, but I spent 50-60% of it being bored. However, I am the odd one out here. Most people seem to be enjoying this, so I do recommend that any Borat fans see this, and I hope you guys enjoy. Get some friends together, get a good crowd going, pour some wine, don't expect too much, and you might have a great time. I personally didn't, and I won't be in a rush to see this again anytime soon. And if I ever do see this film again, it will mainly be to see the daughter again. It's thanks to her, I'm going to give this a very generous 6 out of 10. Don't let me detract you though, guys. If you're a Borat fan, you should see this for yourselves and make up your own mind. Hopefully you'll have a better time than I did. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.